your man, Louie T. Welcome to the 2018 NFL Draft Prospects 101 series, your guide to some of the biggest and hottest names of the 2018 NFL Draft. We're talking running backs here, and this next guy has been compared to the Rookie of the Year on the offensive side of the football very often of late. Since that run in the Rose Bowl and in the championship game versus Alabama and into the Combine, he's been the hot name at the running back position, slowly creeping up draft boards. I'm not as bullish on him as I was Alvin Kamara, a guy that he's been likened to very often in this draft process. I'm not sure he's that. As a matter of fact, I know he's not that guy. However, this guy can provide you with a little bit of punch out of the backfield. There are some questions that we need answers to, and we'll get them hopefully sooner rather than later. But one thing's for sure, this guy does have talent, and we'll hear his name called in the first 2 days of the NFL Draft. I'm talking about Georgia running back Sony Michel. Let's talk about his pros and why this guy could sneak into the back end of the first round or potentially be a high-level second-round pick for some NFL organization. We'll start with his pros. And you look at his first pros, speed at 5'11", 214, solid NFL running back. That's size. It's not gonna knock your socks off, but again, that's what you're looking for if you're looking for a change of pace, third down back, a guy that you're not necessarily looking to give it to 25 times. And really, who's doing that these days anyway? It's rare. There's the Leonard Fournette case in this league. Every so often you'll have a team that says, hey, we got this one guy, he's pretty damn good, and he's really not that great on third down, so we'll give it to him 25 times in a run game. But that's rare. Most teams have backs by committee, and you're getting 12, the other guy's getting 14, and you may get another 4 catches in the pass game, and collectively you've got 17 touches on the day, which is good for a guy that's 5'11", 215 like Sony Michel. But that 4.54 speed, thought he was going to be a little bit faster. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought he was going to run like a 4.49, but okay, 4.54 isn't slow. And when you watch him on tape, I think he might actually play faster than that speed indicates. But nonetheless, that's plenty fast for what he brings to the table at the next level. Quickness and acceleration. We saw plenty of quicks and acceleration in that whole bowl series. We saw it in the Rose Bowl, definitely versus Oklahoma. He was the biggest difference maker on the field offensively for Georgia in that game. Some of the explosive runs, obviously scoring the game-winning touchdown in overtime to win the game, but he had a huge run for a touchdown. He was the true difference maker offensively for Georgia in that game, and a lot of it was off of acceleration and speed to the outside, beating defenders, getting to the end zone. And so Sony Michel did a lot of things in that game to help them advance to the championship game versus Alabama. Agility is something else that I think he brings to the table. He's, like I said, he's got some quicks to him, can make guys miss. And I think he does bring a little bit of that to the table. And his agility is also something that's going to help him thrive at the next level. Very short area quickness and those bursts, I think, are going to be something that helps Sony Michel at the next level in the NFL as a really good, potentially third down back. Vision is something else. I think he has really good vision. I think there are cutbacks that he's able to see. As a running back, you want to be playing chess. You want to be looking for that cut, a move ahead of when you need to make it. And so you should be setting up that cutback while you're pressing the front side of a play, knowing that the entire time you're looking to get backside on a cutback. So you should be pressing front side hard, knowing that your intent is to go backside. I think he does that. He's a guy that will run front side hard, press it, just to get to the backside of a run, knowing that that backside cutback opportunity will be there if I press hard front side. So I think he does have that vision. He does set up blocks. He does put himself in positions where he can take a run that's 4 yards and turn it into 24 yards because of the vision that he possesses. Make you miss. I think he does have that MYM ability. I think there are a number of instances where you see him just break a dude off out in space without really breaking stride. And that's the true difference-making ability that you look for in backs is when you are breaking a dude off or you're looking to try to get more yards after contact, do you have to break stride to cut? Are you able to seamlessly string cuts together without really having to gear down and shift down gears? I think he's one of those guys that can make cuts seamlessly and not have to break stride, which allows him to do some of the things that he does and be as explosive and dynamic as he is at times. Toughness and durability. I think he showed a little bit of toughness in that championship game versus Alabama. There weren't a lot of pretty easy, clean runs in that game. A lot of tough, nasty, rugged, in between the tackle, 5 to 9 yard runs in that game by Sony Michel, which you were expecting those to come from Chubb, but they didn't come from Nick Chubb. They came from Sony Michel, so that was kind of impressive. I thought that was one of the more impressive feats, was just watching him gash Alabama in between the tackles and get 4 and get 7 and get 9 and get 6 in some critical, crucial situations. And that was impressive to me, seeing the toughness of a Sony Michel in a situation where they didn't need scat back Sony. They needed tough guy Sony, and he brought that to the table in that particular game. Patience. He does run with patience. He will set up blocks. And again, Alabama game is a prime example. There were some plays there where he had to wait just to get 2. He had to wait just to get 4, just to allow the block to set up and to turn skinny to get 6 and fall through and come through on the other side of a block. That patience sometimes, it isn't all about patience to get a 25-yard touchdown run or a 65-yard touchdown run. Sometimes patience gets you a 3-yard run on a play that would have been no gain had you just run up into the back of your offensive lineman. So patience, definitely a virtue at the running back position, and Sony Michel has that as well. But that's where we stop with the pros. And I'm hard on these backs, I really am, because a lot of these pros in other positions would be, a lot of these cons, I should say, would be pros. I'm really grading them tough, but I don't want to be overly critical of them. I want you to know that a lot of these cons, in some of these situations, I'm naming 6 and 8 cons for guys. These aren't really big time cons. I'm nitpicking because I'm tough, because this is one of the better positions in this draft, so I'm being a little harsh. But know that these guys are really good and they bring a lot to the table. And you'll see that in the grading when you go to the website, louietnetwork.net. When you check out their rating, you'll see that although they're cons, it doesn't affect their grade as much as you would think. So with that being said, let's go to Sony Michel and his cons. Contact balance and yards after contact. To me, he's a guy that you can get down on the ground relatively easy. He'll break you off, but if you get a piece of the ankle, piece of the knee, he's going down. He's not one of those guys, and this is where I think the difference between him and Alvin Kamara exists. To me, this is the biggest gap between the two. This and receiving ability, but we're not there yet. We're talking about contact balance right now, yards after contact. Alvin Kamara was damn near impossible to get down at Tennessee. He put his hand down on the ground. He'd run through shoulder contact. He'd run with his shoulder and make contact and run through. And we saw that. And you go ask any defender that tried to tackle him this year, and what they'll say is the toughest thing about him is contact balance, man. The guy just doesn't go down easy. Well, that's the direct opposite with Sony Michel, man. I feel like you get contact with Sony Michel, he's going down, okay? There weren't many instances where I saw him break a tackle or run through an arm tackle or run through some physical contact, keep his feet, and keep chugging along. Generally speaking, you get a hand on Sony Michel is going down on the ground. Pass pro and awareness. I've talked about this with a number of different guys in this process. I'm nitpicking when I talk about getting out into the route. That's what I'm talking about with awareness. Also with awareness, who to block, okay? You're in to protect. You got to know where the MDM is, most dangerous man. Who am I blocking? All right, don't pick up the guy coming off the edge and there's a blitzer coming right up the A gap. You got to know who you are supposed to block. Who's the most dangerous man? And sometimes with Sony Michel, he doesn't know who to block. But I think that he can clean up some of those. You can teach a guy how to be better at pass protection. So we'll see what happens with him at the next level. Stamina and snap volume. Remember, he split time. with Nick Chubb, and he really was never the guy. Okay, that one season he had, well, really, you want to take it back to his freshman year, he was the guy, and the year that Chubb went down, he was the guy again. So there's two instances of him being the man, and I think he can do it. But for the most part, he shared snaps with Nick Chubb, and Nick Chubb was really the primary ball toter on first and second down. So can he handle the load? I think we've seen instances where he's been asked to do so and he was able to, but with those extra carries comes a problem. Let's talk about that problem right now. Ball security. The more you ask this man to tote the rock, the more he fumbles the football. So 2 fumbles in 17, and remember, he had that brutal fumble that almost cost him versus Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. It was a big play in the game. Luckily enough, they were able to overcome that and ultimately win the game. But this man has had 12 fumbles in his career. Yes, 12 in a 4-year stretch, 5 of which were lost. That is a huge number, one that can't be ignored. 2 in 17 means it's not something that happened in the past. He's still fumbling in 2017. So that's something he's going to have to work on. And luckily enough for him, ball security is something you can get better at. And he will need to get better at if he wants to remain on the field at the next level. Versatility, again, this is where the Alvin Kamara comparisons for me, just they don't match. They don't mesh well for me. Alvin Kamara could do just about everything, okay? He could catch it. He could run it. He could offer you kickoff return ability, as we saw with him running back a kickoff for a touchdown against Tampa Bay in his rookie season. All of that came with the Alvin Kamara package. You don't get that with Sony Michel. So I'm not even sure if Sony Michel can catch the football. I don't think he has natural hands. I think he can catch it. We saw him catch a touchdown versus Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. But is he a natural catcher of the football? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So we'll see. Again, I hate to beat a horse dead when it's already dead, but I'm not sure if he can catch it. That was the thing that we were all kind of looking at the combine, and I didn't think he solidified anything at the combine. So he didn't look natural to me, I can tell you that much. So we'll see if he can do that. And then leg drive. I just don't see it. Remember I told you that I don't see him as a guy that runs through contact, gets you extra yards after contact. I didn't think his contact balance was that great. You watch him in that Alabama game, and again, I get it. It's Alabama. These are some big guys swallowing you up at the line of scrimmage, but there's some big runs, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. They handed it to Sony Michel because he had the hot hand, and he got nothing. And once they got him, they had him right in that spot. You don't see much leg drive from him. I'm pretty sure there are some instances in there where he's able to get you a little extra something after some contact, and that's great, but I didn't see it enough to feel confident in a short yardage situation saying, hey, Sony, go get this for me. I don't love him around the goal line. I don't think that's his strength either. So I would always be looking for a bigger, different back than Sony Michel in these types of situations. So I don't love his leg drive either. So that's Sony Michel in a nutshell. Guy, to me, is a really good back. I think he's got good potential. Not great. I don't think I'm as high on him as everyone else is. And I'll take it a step further. He's nowhere near how I felt about Alvin Kamara last year. I thought Alvin Kamara was just outstanding coming out of Tennessee. Thought it was highly underrated and was going to make some NFL team much better. And he did. I don't know if Sony Michel is going to come in and do that for anybody right off the bat. Now, ultimately, he may be that guy that really helps a team and fits into a role to a T. But right now, I just don't see Sony Michel being that guy that everybody thinks he's going to be at the next level. We'll see. Could be wrong. Hope I'm wrong. But he does offer you some things. He is a dynamic back. He can run the football. I think he can catch it. I just don't think he's a dynamic receiving threat. But can you throw it to him out of the backfield? We saw him catch a touchdown pass against Oklahoma, so you can throw him the football. I just don't think he has, you're not splitting him out into a wide receiving route and having him win that way. I don't think he's breaking somebody off on a Texas route over the middle of the football field. I just don't think that's what he's doing. So, again, could be wrong. We will see. But that's my analysis of Sony Michel. You can check out his rating and all the ratings of all the other players that I've broken down on LouieTNetwork.net. So check that out. Remember, we're changing the game one player at a time. And remember, we're changing the game here, period, on the Louie T Network. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.